All right. So this is Joe from Bottomless Bar. I want to tell you a little bit about Anchor. If you haven't heard about Anchor by Spotify, it's the easiest way to make a podcast with everything you need all in one place. Let me explain. Anchor has tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer. When hosting on Anchor, you can distribute your podcast on listening platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, MySpace Podcasts. I don't know who the fuck does podcasts anymore, but it's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. And best of all, Anchor is totally free. And this is your mandatory call to action. Download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 2 of the Bottomless Bar.
Bottomless Bar, yeah, finally. This is all happening again. We got a lot of positive feedback. We got a lot of negative feedback. We got no feedback from our one listener in Romania. We have a listener in Romania, which is absolutely insane to me.
We're international, bitches.
Or as Kara would say, bi-coastal.
Yeah,
We're
however
bi-coastal.
you want to look at it.
Yeah, exactly. It's the same difference.
Yep.
We have the Holy Trinity together.
Hell yeah.
This is the first 3 people sat down and talked about this. At my, would you say I kind of bullied you? I coerced you into doing this?
I don't think it took much coercing.
Yeah, so we have Jess. That's one down. We have Jess
What's
here
up?
with us.
Hey, Jess.
She was there with us,
What's up,
and we all worked together, and that's how we know each other, right? We were all bartenders. You weren't a bartender originally,
At first.
right?
That's correct.
But then you worked before we worked together in the place that we're not naming, where I still currently work. You had a catering job, you were telling me before we started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had a job over the summer helping cater concerts that came to Cleveland.
Did you meet anyone famous?
I met a lot of famous people.
Ooh, who were some of your favorites? Who were some of the worst?
Seal was the best.
Oh,
Straight up.
he looks really nice, honestly.
He's very nice. Also, he actually came into the place where all the food was set up. A lot of times the actual bands or the singer or whatever, they wouldn't come through and get their food. They'd send people to get their food for them.
Sure.
And bring it back to the trailer.
Sure.
But he actually came in and shot the shit with us and made fun of me, which was really enjoyable to have a celebrity
Felt
just
like home.
being really exactly. He made fun of my Midwestern accent. It was great.
What you kind of have a Cleveland accent, right?
I don't know enough about the regionalism to say it's specific to Cleveland, but it's definitely Midwestern. I have that hard A, apple and basketball.
Oh yeah, that's kind of a Cleveland thing.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, then I
Yeah.
do.
I've got it.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so you started catering. Catering, it's kind of its own beast, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It can be really good. It can be really lucrative. Not really my thing. It's not very personable, right? Things are typically pre-made. You don't do a lot of assembly on site.
Yeah. I mean, we actually
Unless
did a
it's
decent
super
amount
fancy.
on site. I mean, it was really billing the healthy, this is good shit for catering, and I helped cook all the food, and I also was then there for catering of the actual events. And I thought the food was pretty good, to be honest. Everyone was always super psyched. There were some, I cannot remember the names of the bands now, but there were some of the heavy metal bands that would come through that fucking loved my boss and loved her shit, and people would get really hyped that she would be
Like Slipknot.
I don't remember.
Like
I don't remember. There was one concert event where they had
Creed?
it was all metal, and they had a bunch of different groups, and it's been a while.
Yeah.
They were super nice though. They were a really nice group.
Well, that's a whole other kind of section of the service industry, right? Did you get any offers from any of the celebrities to take you away for private events?
Tour?
Sure.
She did a lot. Yeah, my boss, Christine, she's the shit.
Yeah.
Shout out to Christine if she ever listens to this. She did go on tour once, I think, but she just like didn't like it. She preferred to like stay in the Cleveland area and kind of like bop around from her home base.
Okay.
But like people always were wanting her too. Yeah.
Yeah. And same thing I asked Kara last week. Prior to you working in the service industry, did you have any thoughts about it? Like, the people, tipping, could you ever notice if someone that was waiting on you, was having a bad day, did you see it? Did you have any thoughts about it prior to that? Or was it just kind of like wallpaper?
It was mostly wallpaper, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, I think I had like a pretty old school mentality filtered through my parents about like tipping, which is like, if you have good service, then you tip 20%, right?
Sure.
Rather than that being like the minimum. And I don't really even recall like having a standout experience of like, oh, this is like really good service, this is really bad service. I will say though, we did not have a ton of money growing up, so we really did not go out to eat.
Well,
very
there's a lot
often.
of you.
So.
Right. You have a relatively large family.
I just have 2 brothers.
Well, I mean, they're large.
They are. Oh, yes. Yes, they
They
are.
eat a lot.
They are
The
very
family couldn't
Yes.
afford.
Yes.
Feed them.
This is true. I was like, what are you talking
If
about?
you weren't
But
so
yeah.
large, maybe we would have fed you more often.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You're all very tall.
We're all very.
Even your mom's tall, right?
I mean, she's like my height. She's like
Oh, it's tall to me.
ish. Yeah, to you.
Yeah. Don't say it like
Could
that.
I ask a
Appreciate
random
it, though.
question?
Obviously.
Did you guys grow up with family members that had those tip cards that they kept in their wallet?
I have one.
You do?
Because when
No.
I went to college, I'm like historically abysmal at math.
Uh-huh.
And my mom just like gave me this tip card. And then she taught me the like tip, like the easy like tip mental math thing.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I never need this again. But I still have it in my wallet.
Yeah. My grandma uses one regularly, which is really cute. She'll like look at it and be like, is this enough? Like, well, you've probably had it since like 1980, and so things have changed. Maybe you should give a couple
Right.
extra dollars.
My family did not have those. And honestly, before I started working in the service industry, I've never really thought, I didn't even think about this when I asked you, Kara. But it was like wallpaper to me, right? You don't really think about it. You don't think about the people that are there and serving you. They're, it's so intermittent, right? Like your interactions with them. And I guess at, my age when I was growing up, we ate at home 89% of
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Going out to eat was
A huge
an
occasion.
event. It was
Yeah.
an event, and there was a lot of us. We weren't large, but there was a lot of us.
opposite of
Yes,
us.
exactly. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. We were double the number of your family, I
And
guess,
half the size.
but the same mass.
Yeah, there you
The
go.
same. We displaced the
If you
same
just,
amount
like,
of
displaced
fluid.
us,
Yes,
yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So then you went to college. You worked in undergrad at the catering place.
Yeah, just like a couple summers.
And then you told me something that I wasn't even aware of. We worked together for 2 years,
Almost 3.
almost 3 years. Yeah. Well, something I didn't realize until just before you left, a couple months before you left. But you have this whole thing with like brewing and everything, right? Like,
Yes.
right, and that's that's kind of what led you into
Yeah.
like where like the job in the first place. So you came in and you didn't start bartending.
No. Yeah, I was bar backing right away.
Yeah. So what did you think about the scenario? Because you also worked with the lady that Kara and I worked with. Did you had a particularly unique situation as well because you bar backed and then you also worked in the kitchen. What were your feelings on that? Did you think about were you just okay with it? Did you want to work in the kitchen?
No. I don't really. So between catering and the bar where I worked with you guys, I worked at Whole Foods as well, and I was a prep cook. So I did have kitchen experience, and that was like how I made the quick transition from just bar backing to bar backing and working in the kitchen. And I do not prefer the kitchen. It's just like hot, and I don't know, like it's a different, I think the way you experience the fast pace as a bartender or like front of house staff just feels so different from like like when the kitchen is slammed. Like when you're in the kitchen and you're getting slammed, that feels a type of way, and when you're up front getting slammed, that feels a different type of way. And I think part of that, to me, it's probably something I internalize, which is that the customer can't see how busy you are in the kitchen.
So do they appreciate you?
So no, like you have very little customer interaction, which like can be a definite positive, but I feel like it's more stressful to me because the tickets are ringing like, and then
that's
like
an unmistakable
yeah,
sound.
and like to the floor. I distinctly remember some shifts where you like had tickets to the floor that hadn't been done, and like that is, and then you can only do so much, and like it's not like the customers can see. So if you're like running really late because you have so many tickets, like they can be really pissy with you, and you can't.
And there's nothing worse than a hungry person.
No, yeah.
Well, most of my time, this is something I guess I wanted to clear up from the last episode. I only started bartending full time and solely bartending, I guess about roughly 10 years ago, give or take a year.
Okay.
Most of my career, if you want to call it that, has been in kitchens. And I would bartend, I would get second jobs a lot, to get extra money because pay is very limited in kitchens. It's not great, and it's never been great. It's always been behind. But that's where a lot of my experience comes from to add on to kind of a conversation you and I had prior.
Yeah.
But yeah, that printer sound.
Ugh.
I used to have stress dreams about that printer sound and just like hear it randomly, just be out in the world.
Just like pray that the printer would run out of the paper.
That's like a
and then,
horror
like, turn
movie that
around
needs to be done.
Yeah.
Like it,
Like It Follows, but
Yeah.
fucking kitchen staff version.
and that was. I'm glad I don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
We have that thermal printer.
Yeah.
Thermal printers in the front. They don't make any noise.
Yeah.
It's really, really nice. So, my estimation of you coming into that place in particular was that you were kind of coerced a bit into working in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, don't let me put words in your mouth.
No. It was like proposed to me as like, this is a way for you to make more money because so the way that the tips were cut, you get like more tips working in the kitchen than you do as a bar back. And so that's how it was framed to me. And I was like, okay, because I was literally only working as a bar back and I was making very little money. And my partner was unemployed at the time too. So it's just, I mean, we were fine. Like we had savings, but it was like,
quote unquote,
fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
What
yeah,
are savings?
I was,
yeah, right.
I was wanting more money and that's how it was proposed to me. And there was no opportunity to expand it into bartend. Like that wasn't an option. I couldn't go into bartending. It was like you stay bar backing or you can also work in the kitchen. And like we really need you in the kitchen. So
Right. So, well, I kind of led the charge in getting you behind the bar as a bartender. We needed good help. My estimation of you coming in was that you were present, like you wanted to be there. And I think this goes back to the conversation you and I had about you applying for the job in the first place, right? And so I needed help behind the bar. So it wasn't entirely altruistic, and I don't know if I've ever mentioned that to you at all, but that was kind of a fight as well, right? Like you coming out of the kitchen and transitioning. Tell me about that a little bit, like.
Yeah. So,
because we all have this shared, I don't want to say trauma, but experience of Chad and Nina at this one place, and Chad was the one. Manager Chad was the one that was, still in charge up until COVID, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he was, holding you back a bit, right?
Yeah. We had an opening behind the bar, and like the fall, I want to say it was like October maybe, and you said, you should throw your hat in the ring, just say that you're interested in it, and so I did.
Were you actually interested?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I wanted out of the kitchen and bar backing. I wanted to make more money. I wanted more
that
of
money,
a say. And you work less hours and you make more money. And it was just really stressful for like shit money. And I was like, what's the point of this?
And for a time there, it was good.
Yeah.
Like pre-COVID, it was.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not
really
great,
busy.
right? It's not amazing money. It's barely middle class.
Yeah.
But it was a significant upgrade for
Yeah.
you working in the kitchen.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So,
But I was going to say, manager Chad had like a lot of requirements that he needed, right?
that's right.
Yeah.
I forgot
So
about
that
yeah.
was like a big thing of why Jess couldn't get behind the bar, because it was like, we need, you need to have this much experience. You need this, you need that. And it was like, it didn't matter that she was, a really good worker and she was excited to learn how to make cocktails and all that and the other thing.
Yeah. No mentorship.
Yeah, I remember that being like a big thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd been at the bar for almost like a
We'll clip it out.
year, I think, at that point, and I had literally learned every other position that I could have.
Yeah.
I told him I was interested, and he was like, yeah, okay, I'll think about it. And like really never heard anything, and we just were flying without that extra bartender for that whole time.
Yeah.
And then he went on vacation.
Yeah, and it was like someone that was had very little presence in the front of house. Like that manager Chad was so opinionated for who he needed to be behind the bar.
Yeah.
So that always frustrated me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really kind of crazy. I didn't want to, being present for it, I didn't want to undermine my own position there, because I still felt that it was a little tenuous as long as Chad and Nina were there. Like I still felt like I was walking on eggshells. So like if you ever felt like I didn't really come out for you in any appreciable way, then
No,
that's
I didn't feel like that at all.
That's kind of the reason. Well, so once you started bartending, what did you think of it? Like you learned the cocktails, you started doing it. To me, it seemed like a really easy transition for you. Like you're an open person. You work hard. It seems like you connected with customers really well.
Yeah, I feel like bar backing really helped with that in the customer sense.
Yeah.
Like we had our regular Chad, who is a great tipper, Chad.
Chad Daddy.
Not Chad Daddy. Another Chad. Can I just say his name? That can be bleeped
No,
out.
just describe Chad.
He Chad with the pugs and Chad with the.
Oh yeah, Chad and Nina.
Chad and Nina. Chad, who used to play. Can we give like more damning evidence?
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Yeah.
I know exactly.
Do we pantomime?
I know exactly what you're talking about. Pod Mom was.
Yeah, Chad. Yeah.
Pod
Chad and Nina.
Mom was brushing his teeth.
He was
I know
like
exactly what you're talking
getting
about.
aggressive about manager Chad not having me like start to bartend.
Oh shit, I forgot about
He
that.
was
That's
like-
right, he was.
Every time he interacted, he'd be like, "Whoa, when are you putting Jess behind the bar? Like
Yeah.
I want to see Jess behind the bar."
Yeah.
So I feel like, and a lot of our regulars, I already had really good relationships with, like all the Ninas and Chads. I would name
Sure.
them all, but so that was already there. And then I credit you with like how smooth the transition went, because one of the like hoops that manager Chad made me jump through was like less than a week before my first shift. He was like, "You need to memorize like all the cocktails on our list plus like all of these like classics," and it was something like 30 cocktails or something like that.
Which is entirely insane.
Yeah.
That's so fucked up, considering he had no bartending experience.
Well,
Right?
and can I just say for a second,
Please.
we talked about this on the first episode. And Jess, I don't know if you remember the story about Red Chalk Girl, but we talked about this on episode 1. And so, do you remember her? Okay, well, we'll talk about it on the side.
You got to listen to the episode.
I don't want to make these. I don't want to make these people listen to it again. They're like, you're killing us in Romania, but we've already heard the story. But what I was gonna say is Red Chalk Girl. So the story of Red Chalk Girl was she claimed to have been a bartender, but she wasn't. She lied on her resume, and she was an attractive girl, and perhaps that's why she was hired. But
So wait, would you say she was a Cracker Barrel? Cracker Barrel 7?
She's not. She's not really a Cracker Barrel. She's more of like a like a winking lizard,
Ooh.
like 7.
Oh wow,
It's
that,
just
that is an
different.
upgrade.
That's equivalent to Cracker Barrel.
no,
so-
No, it's not.
It's not.
No, it's not.
You're being outgunned.
Like there's a difference between like churning butter and like riding motorcycles, and
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
There is a cross section. There's a Venn diagram to that, but
Yeah.
they're not entirely the same. It's not a circle.
no, not at
Right.
all.
Anyways.
So like I was saying, Red Chalk Girl had no experience, and she was given the opportunity, just like that, right out of the hat.
Was she trained? Did anyone sit behind the bar and
No,
train her?
not anything like this. And that's what I'm getting at is someone that had been working at this establishment for years, was trustworthy, hardworking,
Proven.
all the things, friendly with the, not just friendly, but close with the regulars, all the things, all the makings of a good bartender. And that's how Jess was treated, but someone off the street was just let right in, ended up getting fired because of a bad Yelp review. And it's crazy to me that how it just doesn't match up.
Right. It's absolutely incongruent.
Yeah.
To be polite about it, and to have such an incredibly high standard for you was, it's kind of salt in the wound. It's. I mean, it's fucked up for lack of a better
Like it
term.
was like she wasn't good enough, and it was like,
Well, he was putting up all these arbitrary,
Yeah.
obstacles.
Well, he literally had to go on vacation, and then owner Chad, Kara, you got sick, and no one else could bartend, and owner Chad called me and was like, "Hey, I heard you want to bartend. We need someone to bartend. Will you come in?"
Right.
So
While
you're saying
manager Chad was on vacation.
So you're saying
Yeah.
You're
I'm
welcome.
saying your illness.
I think that was the first time I was sick in like years.
Yeah, I think you were
too.
pretty sick.
I had the flu.
You
Yeah.
remember all that?
Yeah.
Okay, I don't.
Because I think we had a couple people
That's
out.
a shocker. But
yeah.
anyways,
So you came in, you started bartending eventually.
And yeah, like I was saying, I credit you a lot with the smooth transition, because when I was given that list, I came up to you. I think I was bar backing or something that shift, and I was like, "Will you walk me through some of this shit after the end of my shift?" And I think you did that like a couple times that week.
Yeah, I do remember one of those nights. Oddly enough, I was really fucking drunk because I was drinking all the drinks.
Dude,
that you
we
were
gave Kitchen Chad, miss him so much. Left to his baby mama. We gave him the
yeah.
Cosmopolitan. He was lit.
Yeah.
It was so funny.
Yeah,
It's cute.
Kitchen Chad.
Yeah.
Shout out
Well-
if you ever listen.
yeah, Kitchen
We
Chad.
miss you, baby.
Well, then, so how would you say your perception changed, right? Coming in the business and actually working behind the bar and then dealing with all the customers, because you got a bit of we were busy, right? Like you got a bit of a dose of,
Yeah.
you got the cross section, you got the pre-COVID business, right? Did it change your perception? Did it change how you were out in the world? Like how you were dining out?
I mean, I definitely feel like I have a lot more patience
Yeah.
with staff.
Yeah.
Like every time I go out to eat with someone else and there's like quote unquote a bad service experience, like I'm always like, it just never bothers me anymore. Like I'm always like, well, like you don't know what's happening. Like
Yeah.
you don't know what's going on. And like you can basically do nothing to get me to not tip you or like to not tip you well.
I think someone would have to throw a drink, intentionally throw a drink in my face, take a shit on the
really
table.
intentionally not good.
Absolutely. And what I often say is my baseline is 20%.
Yeah. Yep.
And that I will never ever tip less than that, but I always over tip. You just have no idea what these people are going through. And a lot, and we touched on this in the first episode quite a bit, we're responsible for decisions that are made above our heads.
Mm-hmm.
And it's people take it out
On us.
Mm-hmm. And they feel like they can for whatever reason. And yeah, it's just kind of a tough place to.
I think it's because of everything to do with tipping, right?
Everything to do with tipping.
Yeah, because like you like set up this like really predatory relationship between like the customer and the
It's
person
adversarial almost.
Yeah. Yes. The person providing service, and there's the idea that you owe them, so it's easier to like.
I was just. Yeah, sorry about that.
I like that.
I was just
Ting.
trying to get some of the dew off the lily. so to speak.
Ew.
If you're a
What?
if
I'm
you're-
talking about
he's
flowers.
talking
You don't like
about-
flowers?
He's talking about his olive.
we
An
That's
actual
all.
olive,
A real olive.
Jess. A real olive. That's not a euphemism.
So for our listeners out there, we episode 2 we're having martinis.
Martinis.
So
Actual martinis.
The
yeah.
the cling is
Well, technically yours isn't a martini.
well, we'll get into that. But the Joe is clinking his very fancy metal bar skewer on his glass.
And Podmom is cringing.
Podmom is upset, but
every
Podmom is
single
easily upset.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons I like him so much. He's very easy in sight. Whereas Jess, on the other hand, has become less and less easy to incite over the years.
With you.
With me, yeah, you've been inoculated,
It's
so
not
to speak.
impossible,
Yeah,
though.
yeah. Well, you had a
You
particular.
can set me off real easily.
Well, yeah, no, and that's some. I did it. Not. I can't talk about your shirts and do it, right?
Huh?
Like when you wear that backwards shirt.
I don't care about that.
Yeah.
Is it actually backwards or just looks
no,
like it was?
it's
It
just
looks
got
like it's
buttons down
It's
the
just
back.
fashion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait.
God forbid somebody has.
Do you have to get your
fashion
partner
sense.
to button you into
I
that
just,
thing
like,
like a straight
Put it
jacket?
over my head.
Oh, okay. So that's.
It's
there's
got a really wide
pointless.
neckline.
Okay. Yeah.
Lord.
I'm trying to do it right now. You had an opinion of me when we first started working together.
Yeah, I thought
right?
you were a fuckboy.
And I still don't know what that is. Now
Oh my
that
god,
I have,
we've gone over it so many times.
now that I have, Kara, do you have an opinion on what a fuckboy is?
I would
Can
say
you
it's
further enlighten me?
curiously difficult to define to someone not of our generation.
Yeah, but like, so I guess a fuckboy to me is like someone that's like kind of douchey.
Are they into Slipknot?
No.
No.
What the fuck?
Emphatic no from Podmom.
No, a fuckboy is like someone that is douchey. They just want to sleep with you. They don't care about, they're certainly never going to take you to dinner. They're just like,
The
Is this
closest
accurate?
thing we ever came up with to translate for you was that a fuckboy is like a Chad. And I don't mean Chad in the sense of like all men, but like that like old, like.
Right, like a popped collar that
Yeah,
would wear
it's
the,
like
the
our
sun visors
generation's
backwards.
version of a Chad.
yeah. So,
Wait, what am I looking at?
Okay, so Urban Dictionary, and I don't know why I didn't think of this before. The amount of times I tried to define fuckboy to you,
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I failed continuously.
We don't have the internet
and I
at
didn't
work, yeah.
once, not a single time, Google it. But Urban Dictionary,
Oh, that looks large.
I'll make it quick. Fuckboy, a boy who plays with girls' feelings and doesn't really like them and would do or
Yes.
say anything a girl wants to hear to have sex with them or to get something they want.
that's an excellent definition.
Fuckboys know what girls want to hear, but this just gets like, this person was clearly fucked over by a fuckboy. Like, it gets a little salty.
Very specific.
Like, once they are a fuckboy, they always will be a fuckboy. they've
To
been
you,
they've
yeah,
been
yeah.
done wrong.
Yeah.
But in any event, yeah, it's a guy who, like, lies to get what they want, and most often it's you've been called out.
I'm
It's
getting
you.
so
I was
salty right now.
Accurate. Okay, it's because can I just let the record show that the sole reason why I thought you were a fuckboy.
Because I wore Vans.
No, there were two. No, you never wore Vans to work.
Because he didn't wear deodorant?
Still don't.
I can tell. But the two reasons were, one, the amount of female patrons who just fawn over you. Like, it's overwhelming. Mm-hmm. And that on top of, and this was the thing that
It's
really
overwhelming.
Yeah, it is overwhelming. This is what sunk the proverbial, what's the phrase? You put the last nail in the coffin or whatever. This is the one. The straw that broke the camel's back was when you said your favorite movie was Fight Club. And that is
Okay.
the movie of the fuckboy. Sorry. That is the movie of the fuckboys. And that's how that all began.
That's what started it off.
That's what started
Is
it
that
off.
my favorite movie is Fight Club.
Yes.
Okay.
Can I just say also, to piggyback off that, before you started at our place of employment,
Yeah.
there was someone spoke negatively about you before you
Oh, I
even
remember
started.
this. Yeah.
What?
And so I went in thinking, like, I remember before you started, they told me your name, and I looked you up on Facebook, and I was like, this guy looks like a fucking tool. Are you kidding me? Because like you're like
Wait, how did they even know him?
because their
I dated
friend
one of their
dated
friends, yeah.
their friend dated
Very, very briefly. It was
Yeah.
literally like maybe
So
3-4 weeks.
basically he was a fuckboy to this friend,
I
to
wasn't,
this
though.
girl. But
Not
that's
by-
what they told me, you know.
Yeah.
So like I went in thinking like, oh my god, this guy, he thinks he's so hot, he thinks he's so good at his job, like yada yada yada. And then I was like, yeah, he stinks a little, but he's like the jam.
He's just, you know,
I'm just kidding.
high behind the bar. Like,
I'm just kidding. You don't
Yeah.
stink. We
You
love
know,
you.
the first summer we worked together, I was high basically every single weekend.
No, you weren't.
I was. I would get cross-eyed stoned and then come into work on those Saturdays.
My
I
God.
wasn't there. Don't look at me.
I was literally working between cross-eyed Joe and fucking worthless Nina.
And here's the thing: I don't smoke weed. I just happen
You really
to
don't. Yeah.
buy a bag of weed.
A bag. You just like a leprechaun. You just came across like a bag of weed.
I didn't just
won't take it,
find
a bag
it
of
on the
weed.
street. Oh yeah, I'm
I
gonna
can't-
put this in my lungs.
But like that, I've not heard that quantity before. Like a bag of weed.
How big's your bag?
Yeah, like is it like
About an eighth,
Okay, well that's
and it lasted me the entire summer. That's how much weed I smoked.
So, okay, so you're saying, well, at least you did your job, though. You were productive.
Yeah, exactly.
You ate a lot of chips, so that all starts to make sense. There was a lot of queso. There was a lot of chip consumption. Like, there were days when I would walk back into the kitchen and he's, like, rolling up, like, when we had, like, Cubans on the menu, he's, like, rolling up, like, hams. And
Yeah,
like,
he
just,
does that. That's normal.
I still do that.
It's
Yeah,
just
that's
like-
He
fine.
just like makes like a little bowl of like
little snacks.
like yeah.
It's
little
amazing you
snacks.
stay so in shape and beautiful.
so svelte.
Well, I'm still offended that you thought that I was. I'm more offended now that we've heard the Urban Dictionary version that I'm a fuckboy. But here's the thing: like with you, Tess, I could tell that you were slightly offended by my presence.
What?
Yeah,
I was not.
You had a tone, and you absolutely.
I absolutely did not have a tone.
You 100% did.
I did not have a tone with you at all.
So my philosophy was to just steer into it, and basically that's a bedrock of our relationship, right? Is me trying to fuck with you and inflame your sensibilities.
I don't feel like you like aggravated me. Like I don't feel like you've inflamed me that often. I feel like there are a handful of like notable occasions where I got like real pissed off, and on every single one of those occasions, it was because I was having a shitty interaction with a customer or a shitty interaction with manager Chad, and I was fucking over that shift. And I said one thing to you, like usually like, can you do this or how do I do this? And it was something just like off the cuff,
A
like some type
sarcastic
of sarcastic response.
Yeah.
And I was like,
Something glib.
fuck you. I don't need this right now. And I'm fucking, you're dead to me at that point. And then
Yeah.
like in like half an hour, I'm like, sorry.
You called me a little bitch once in front of an entire table of customers, and I laughed so hard. It was amazing.
I don't remember saying that in anger though.
No. It was that post anger
yeah,
glow
it was.
that you have.
Were they regulars or were they just people?
Yeah, they're regulars. They're regulars.
They
Yeah.
were just people.
Yeah, I went out to have a drink with them.
I do remember this.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And I couldn't remember why you were upset with me.
Yeah, you
And
did
I
seem
was-
a little taken aback when I said that.
Yeah, I was.
Which I didn't mean it to be cutting in that moment. I like no, we had
Well, in front of
like,
a room full of
class.
strangers,
It's
and
not
then
a
you
room
like
full of strangers.
then you like floated away.
I stand by what I did.
So you were a bartender for like 2 years then, right? Something like
Almost
that.
3.
Almost
oh,
3.
No,
No,
you're
no.
right. It was almost 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you do it again?
Yeah, I would do it again. I definitely would. I think, dude, I fucking love, like, all the downsides to the service industry that we'll talk about and all the things that have already been talked about, like, those are present and those suck. But I fucking I just lived I was talking about this. I met someone came into my office at my new job, and we were talking about the service industry, and I brought this up, which is like, And Kara, you just mentioned it too, I think before we started today. So maybe you talked about it in the last podcast, but just like how the people make the service industry. Like if you have a good group of coworkers, it's a fucking bomb because you just fuck around all shift, because the service industry is extremely physically and emotionally taxing, but it's not like intellectually taxing. So like you kind of can just hang out. I mean, you work hard. I don't want to give the impression that it's not hard work.
Yeah, we
it's
talked about this on
work.
the first episode. Like, it's hard on your body. Like, the hours are hard, you know, but like the people that you get to meet along the way, it just makes it fun. Like, you know, you're shaking cocktails, you're making fun of like asshole people that come in, like behind their backs, you know, you're eating chips in the back. It's like, it's really not, I'm not having that bad of a time, you know?
Yeah.
You're making good money for the most part, you know?
Yeah. And you get to live your life, which that was huge for me. And that's why I stayed at the bar that I was at for as long as I did. Yeah. Which is like, I just wanted to have the free time.
Yeah. I think you do, to be fair, you do miss out on some stuff, right? Like,
for sure.
There's like the parties that happen at night. Like, when is the last time you ever got to go to a happy hour on a Friday with
weekends?
Friends? Or, So there's, you know, you lose some of that, but at the end, at the end of the day, it's a lot of fun. I think that's why a lot of us do it.
There was like
Stick with it.
Conversation I had with my dad, I think it was last winter, because I think he was kind of like in the mindset of like, why are you still in the service industry?
Yeah, well,
like,
I think
and
that's
like also like
stereotypical dad thought.
Definitely,
when you get to a certain
just like
age
wanting.
anyways.
I think he just wanted me to be, you know, challenging myself, but also happy. And he wasn't sure. I think he heard a lot of the stress that I was having in the service industry, because I had, you know, experienced manager Chad and the shit from manager Chad, and then it was a pandemic, and like that was fucking horrible to work through. Yeah. And so I think in his mind he was like, this is all garbage for you. Like, why are you still doing this? And I just was like, actually, like, I'm fucking loving my life right now. Like, this is great. Like, I've been able to save money. It's like the first time like I've really been able to save money was because of bartending. Like, I have so much free time. I like go on a run in the middle of the day, and then I go get fucking ice cream from like the place up the street, and I'm just like walking around, and I'm like, this is sick.
Yeah.
Like,
Nothing really to do.
Yeah. And like, and I go in, I punch in, and I do my shit, and I work really hard, and sometimes it sucks, and sometimes it's really difficult, but then like you leave, and you fucking leave. Yeah. And you do like your 4 shifts a week or whatever it is, and then you're done. You have whatever you want to do. That was sick. I would definitely do it again if it was like a good environment.
Yeah. The pandemic really put a big damper on everything, and you and I were on the front line. Yeah. You know, during the reopen. Yeah. And you really got to see like the worst of the worst people come out. Yeah. And that was absolutely insane. There was a point in the end, you know, towards the end, before I went on unemployment, before I took my hiatus, where I thought that for the first time ever that I would actually put my hands on someone, you know, just given the right. I was under so much stress because we were being asked to do things that were beyond the pale. We were being asked to be mask police. Yeah. You know, and it was being foisted upon us. You know, we weren't really given an option. We weren't able to opt out, right? According to every regulatory body that bars and restaurants are subject to. Yeah. They were all coming in and checking to see if we could regulate the populace, which is absolutely insane. And people en masse were really just, I don't want to say en masse. There were a lot of good people. But the bad ones really made themselves known. Like, we would go on a wait. This is something I remember. We would go on a wait because we were limited capacity. For the stroke of a pen, right, an executive order, we were half capacity. That was beyond us, right? That was, and this goes back to what I was saying about how customers take out things.
Their frustration on you.
Well, there's things that are decided above our heads. Yeah, you can't. And it's taken out on us. You know, we would go on a wait and we would take names. We even started calling people. Yeah, we took people's numbers. We took people's numbers, you know, and this just, you know, we want business. We want money. We want your business. And, you know, this is going out of our way, especially in the context of where we all worked. And people, you know, people would storm into the restaurant and say, well, how much longer is this going to be? I've been waiting for 25 minutes. In earnest, like being absolutely serious about it. And, for me, I just wanted to jump over the bar and, choke someone out. This is like, do you not know what's going on? Like, your life is so good that this is what sends you over the edge. This is what, and that made it particularly tough. And for me, at least.
I definitely remember coming off of that because we were shut down for like a little over a month, maybe like a month and a half.
I thought it was like 10 weeks, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I remember coming back into it thinking like, oh, like everyone is just going to be like so understanding. And like there's just gonna be like so much.
The people are gonna
grace.
be so generous.
Like people are just gonna, like
throw their money at you.
Thank God you're open.
Not even like by like tipping
Thank you
more.
for risking your life.
Yeah, but
to
like
pour me a beer.
But like there was gonna be an understanding of like how extraordinary it was that we were going to risk our lives to pour people beers, and it might not make people tip us more, but like they might be more patient, or like they just might be kinder to our faces.
Yeah,
even if they're assholes like in
normal life, pre-pandemic life,
or like if they leave like a shitty review. But I just felt like there would be like a sense of like
kindness,
generosity to the people's faces.
Yeah.
And I will never forget like how much of a slap in the face it was that it was the complete opposite. And I feel like the pandemic brought out the worst in most people. Like it was
it's not the majority of people.
No, but like
right.
The bad ones stick out.
They really, really do. They really do.
Like in regular life too. I think like even pre-pandemic, the bad ones just make you realize how awful people could be.
I also think like, I understand that like everyone who was coming in was under a tremendous amount of stress just in daily life as well. So like I understand, right? Like no one was in a good mindset. So like to me, like looking back, it's like, okay, I get why like there were a lot of assholes. Yeah. Because like it fucking sucked. It still sucks. But yeah, it was really horrible to like experience that. And I had COVID like right away. Like right when we reopened, I got COVID.
Was that confirmed?
No. I did not test positive, but I had all the symptoms.
You were sick
for 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it wasn't just like light sick.
I was really sick, messed up. So, maybe it wasn't, but that was jarring though, to be like, how vulnerable are we? I've been back for like a week. I think we had been open, like we had only been doing to go for a while.
That whole 10 weeks.
No, but like even like that first week that we were back, we had only opened the patio. Like we weren't
I don't
even,
remember that.
Yeah, I think I had one shift where like we were open inside at limited capacity with mask requirements before I got really sick.
Yeah, is there anything that you want to say to the people that were particularly bad?
No, I don't. I really don't, because like it's still so bad, and I just like.
So would you say the reason why you meet people and you tend to like gravitate towards the people that you work with and like hang out with them, is it like trauma bonding?
Yeah,
because that's what I think. That's what I think very often
it
is like you're basically like you have this shared stress experience. Yes. So like, do you think that if we just met casually, we would be friends or
no?
I do. Wait, no. I totally. Are you joking? Because I totally do.
Sorry, Joe.
Sorry, Pod Mom. We're getting lit up in
blew
here.
his eardrums out.
No, I do think that we'd be friends. I think. Well, here's the thing. Like, it's obvious that we have a lot in common. We like each other's jokes. That's like the most important thing in the world.
That is the most important thing in the world.
No, it is.
It really is. It really is.
Laughter is the best.
That will end a relationship.
I should have more friends then, because I am the most easily entertained person ever.
Easily entertained or entertaining? See, maybe you're not entertained. Maybe you're not entertaining, and that's why.
Ouch.
I'm just kidding.
Anyways,
oh my damn! The truth is coming out.
I'm just kidding. I've had 1.5 cocktail shots are fired. No, but seriously, I do think that we'd be friends because it's all about jiving, baby.
Yeah.
Like we're all on the same
We have
page.
complementary personalities.
Yeah.
Would we have met? Probably not.
Probably not.
That's unlikely.
No.
Yeah.
Well, you would have walked into this bar that
You're like, who's this fuck boy behind the
this fuck
bar?
boy?
I didn't even go
In the band
I
tee.
didn't even go to the bar
Does
until
not
I
wear
knew I was
deodorant.
going to apply, and then I was like, I should probably go to this bar once. So I went to the bar once. So I probably would not have come to the bar.
So wait,
Wait,
you would come in
What was
before?
your experience?
just one time.
Who waited on you?
Um,
Do you remember?
Who
no,
was
I
there?
don't
Was it
remember.
me? Did I treat you nicely?
I think you might have been there. It was. I think I came for that like anniversary party because I was hired shortly after.
I might
that.
I might have missed that. I've conveniently taken vacations around like busy times.
All New Year's Eve.
I know, and
Yeah,
every
New Year's
time I
Eve's,
wonder
busy times, and like
how you get away with it because like we're not supposed to.
Yeah, you're
in
not allowed-
scare
you're not allowed
quotes.
to
Like we're
take
not
off work.
allowed to, but like every time you do
vacations
it, no one
allowed.
says anything.
Listen.
So, power to you.
yeah, exactly. Like
Power to you.
I've been doing this a long time. You know, I won't lie. There's a certain sense of entitlement that I have. Yeah. Well, I just want to say to all the people that were shitty to me during the first reopen, I hope you die in a fire and your kids watch.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying. I'm dead serious. These are terrible, terrible people. There was one young lady, attractive young lady.
Get it out.
Who-
She was
who-
attractive.
She was an attractive young lady, yeah. And this will be well, no, it's not a deal breaker for me, honestly.
Oh my god. And he's not a fuckboy.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't lie to her,
If
right?
she
I'd be like,
walks
listen,
and-
Taking it
If
too
she
I
wa-
hate you. I
You're
think you're a
taking it
terrible,
too-
terrible person, but can I buy you a drink?
If she walks, she talks. She has a little bit of cleavage and or a nice ass.
And no, there has to be like a horsey birdie combination face.
Yeah, horse. I forgot about
The
that.
horse-
Can we
We'll bring it
educate
back.
the
We'll bring it back.
population?
Okay, go. Carry
This
on
lady
first.
came in, and this was like in the midst of the mask mandate, right? And the limited capacity. They were way over capacity at their table. They were standing up. They were a big group. She came in without a mask, and I tried to catch her at the door and say, "Hey, you need to have a mask on." She walked right past me, looked back, and said, "I work in a hospital," and then went to her table without a mask.
Ay,
And then
Dios
she
mío.
came up and tried to, order a drink and apologize. I've never seen the lady since. The apology is appreciated, but still,
Wait, so when she came up and apologized, did she then put a mask on?
no.
She just apologized.
Well, that was
for-
like, Kara, there was, so you know how we like have a mask mandate right now, but like we don't really enforce it?
Yeah.
Like it's not the same, kind of.
Yeah.
It is,
Yeah.
but it isn't. Like, but we have signs up all over the bar.
Yeah.
Like everyone fucking knows it. There was this time where there was a woman who came up to the bar and we have a sign like right at the bar that's like, by this ordinance or whatever, you have to wear your mask. And like, if you want to argue about it, like talk to the manager, like we're not here to debate policy, like blah, blah, blah. And a lot of times we get people like who like point at it and are like, oh, is it actually that bad? Like people don't wear their masks or they laugh or whatever. I remember this woman came up and this was recently, like somewhat recently. And she like wasn't wearing a mask. And she points at it and laughs and goes, are people actually like this? And Joe, you were helping her. And I was like standing, I think I was doing dishes or something. I'm just looking between the two of you like, what the fuck is happening?
Literally, all of the looks on our faces right now are like eyes wide. Pod Mom is incredulous. You can see the incredulity on his face right now.
That was,
People
yeah, that
have
was
this
rough. That was really bad.
incredible tendency to just what would you even say that is? Like, is that unaccountability?
No,
That's kind of being
denial.
Denial. It's something.
Stupidity.
Is that cognitive
It's
dissonance?
yes, it's
is
cognitive
that
dissonance.
that particular instance was pretty crazy. What were we talking about before this? There's not. I just want to set the record straight.
We were talking about you being a fuckboy.
I want to. Yes, exactly.
Would you like to
I
circle
want
back to
to.
that?
I want to set the record.
Should we
straight.
talk more about you?
I don't lie. I don't lie to women.
Okay.
Okay, I'm not here to debate that.
Yeah.
I don't know how
And
you
there
wanna
is
Well, we'd have
not-
to get some of those women on the pod.
There
See how they
is
feel about
not.
it.
There is not.
OTP.
Well, let's do it. I don't care.
solicit some responses
if
and
you're
I can
listening-
read through the comments.
Oh, here's one
If
thing
you're listening.
here's one thing I'd like to say. If you're listening to this podcast and you have something to say, what's our email? Is it the bottomless
well, yeah, it's bottomlessbar.1@gmail.com.
bottomlessbar.1.1?
Yeah.
Bottomlessbar.1@gmail.com. Do us a favor.
We're also on Twitter.
We're
Oh,
also
shit.
on Twitter. We're also on Instagram.
even on
But
Twitter.
I think in order to keep things streamlined, if you have something that you would like to say to us, good or bad, if you would like to talk about something that you want us to discuss, a situation that you've had in a bar.
Tell us about bars in Romania.
If you've worked, tell us about the bars in
Yes,
Romania. We've never
Romanian
been there.
bar scene.
Tell us about experiences you've had in bars. If you've worked in the service industry, if you want to come on, if you want to have conversations, if there's things that you want us to talk about, experiences, we'd love to have them, and we'd love to talk about them.
Yeah.
For you or with you.
Yeah.
So
If you've developed a taste for human flesh, ignore
Also
everything
that.
she just said.
Oh.
So what's happening?
there's a lot of drool.
Why would we not?
It's a good thing we have these spit guards here.
Why would
Jess
we not
drools a lot.
Why would we not want to talk about that? I'm confused.
Well, and also, as another point of clarification, there is not an overwhelming amount of women that are interested in me. There just isn't.
Just every
It-
female that's
just
ever walked
everyone
It's
who
not-
comes
that
to
is-
the bar.
Absolutely
They're-
wrong.
Joe, I could make T-shirts.
No.
And sell them, and they like Joe's fan club or whatever. And the amount of people I would make bank.
Can I get in on that?
That's insane.
It's not insane, and you know.
Have you
it.
witnessed this, Pod Mom? Exactly.
Pod Mom does not come in that often.
Pod Mom was not there during the high high
It's
bitches
just-
hours. He wasn't there when the chicks when the
chicks came to learn.
Yeah, when
High
they were
bitch
calling.
hours.
When they came calling.
I saw this girl recently that you used to have the hots for.
Oh, did she ask about me?
No, but I thought of you because I was like, oh, she is. Because I remember when she came in, I was like, she's kind of a lot. And then, just because
Sounds like my type.
I was gonna say that.
because like every girl that comes in, she's like, they're always like very like,
toit and small.
yeah, but
And a lot.
This one girl in particular, she's very pretty. Don't get me wrong. She's like got a bunch of tattoos. She works at a makeup store, and so her fotch is always like snatch.
What's a fotch?
Looking nice face.
Oh, did you know what that
No, I
word
didn't.
was?
But I put two and two together.
Okay.
Her
Pod Mom, did you
fotch-
know what that meant?
Her fotch looks good.
You're Jason.
He
yeah.
hears
We're
it,
together.
yeah.
We're
Yeah.
together. The pod mom and I are together.
Pod mom and dad.
So anyways, she's a very pretty girl, and I remember like in the moment, just because like working with you, like Jess is saying, like they were very, they were always there. These girls that
They
had
linger.
the hots in you, and so it was just like, oh God, like really, like she's
Yeah.
not that hot, and like why did what's the big deal? And then I saw this girl like in real life, IRL, as the kids say, and I was like, okay, she's pretty hot. Like I get it.
I've never gotten like upset about it, but like it
No,
is
not upset, but it's
so-
almost like your brother. It's like you're like my brother in a way, and I'm like, oh my God, these girls. Like I hate every girl my brother has ever dated.
I've not ever.
Do you hear that, Krell?
I hear
Bro,
that.
I hate all your bitches.
I hear that, but I don't. I feel like it's just I react in just like awe. Like
What
this
has he
is
got?
Insane.
What
Like,
has he got?
Yes.
That we don't know about.
What is it? Like you have like
It's the smooth butthole.
you wouldn't know.
I think it's
You've never seen
I
it.
mean, I can feel it.
So you feel it, but you touch but don't look.
Yeah.
everyone's
Why?
butthole is smooth.
Well, you know what? Touch is a form of seeing. So in that sense, you have seen your butthole.
Oh. Well, I hate this now.
Finally, we can.
You got,
confirm.
yeah. Okay, you cornered me.
I cornered
Yeah,
you.
fair enough. All right.
Okay.
Well, I just don't see it. I don't see it.
But of course you don't.
What?
I was gonna say maybe it's because he's got birdie features.
Proportions.
We
Okay,
wanted
can
to-
we,
we
can
wanted
we
to
talk
touch
about
on-
horsebird muffin?
Yeah, let's talk about
Yeah,
it.
horsebird muffin. Before
We've got
you
the time.
before you two unpack horsebird muffin, this is a very important fact about horsebird muffin.
Oh my god, I'm so excited.
There are no bad ones. There are no bad ones.
Yes.
Okay. There are. I just want to share. Some women. I've seen women wrinkle their noses when you explain them as a
Yes.
horse.
Yes.
I want to say that there
Or
are
muffin.
incredibly attractive horse feature women out there. Rosario Dawson
Not
is
all
one.
horses are
Some-
AOC.
AOC. God damn. I have to be alone for a minute. I'm sorry. She is she is a 10 out of 10
She's a
in
10.
my book.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got it all. Whoever is lucky enough to cohabitate
Yeah,
with
I don't
her is
remember her boyfriend's name. Whatever.
Okay.
very, very lucky.
Probably like
I'm
George
sure
or
there's something
something.
I don't know. Maybe she has smelly feet. I don't know.
Whatever.
People are into that.
Not a deal breaker
People are
when you look
into
like that. But very attractive horse. Very attractive.
I did have the experience of like telling people at a pool party about Horsebird Muffin. And when I told the women like, oh, you're very horsey or oh, you're very muffiny or whatever it was, they got upset.
Yes.
And I was like,
Yes.
You
You're
gotta
not-
be one.
you're not
You're one of the three.
understanding.
Pick
What
your fighter.
I think the way it works is that there's a dominant and then there's a secondary.
Unless you're me.
Unless you're you. Well, you're a little horsey. You're a little
Oh my
horsey.
God. I just want the record to state
But
She's
you were like
100% muffin.
that when Joe met me, one of the earliest interactions I remember having with him is him saying that I am the muffiniest muffin.
you are
he's
the
ever
muffiniest
seen.
muffin that
100% muffin.
I
And
concur.
now,
You and
years
that-
later,
I can't
I'm
remember-
hearing that I'm a little horsey.
you're a little horsey.
Wow.
Just a little horsey.
This is rocking my world.
There's a lady, I can't remember her name, that comes in. Just a lesbian couple.
Well, it's Nina.
True.
Yeah.
It's one of the
But
Ninas.
she's tall. She's very muffiny, and I'm normally not attracted to muffin types. But I always thought that she was very, very attractive. And I think mostly it was personality.
Is she more muffiny than me?
Well, hang on a second. Muffins don't have a personality.
Are you saying muffins don't have a personality?
Well, I'm saying
Yes,
that.
fight.
No, I'm saying that.
Round one.
We never fought Joe.
Not
Horsebird
yet.
muffin only
It's face.
It's
It's
face.
face
It's what your
appearance.
it's what your
Yes.
fotch looks
No
like, if you
personality.
will.
Your
So
fotch.
it says
That sounds a
nothing
lot like crotch.
It has
It really
nothing
does sound like a euphemism.
It has nothing to do with your personality.
Yeah,
so
I'm just
do
saying.
us a favor, Joe, for our listeners.
Don't ever act like I'm interested in women's personalities again. Is that what you're going to say?
No.
Yeah, because that's not what it's about.
Fucking lay it down for us.
Lay it down. Break it down.
Did you
Break
Horsebird
down.
muffin.
Did you come
Did
up
you come
with
up with
this?
this?
I did
Jinx?
not. I did not come up with
Who
this.
can we credit?
I don't know if there's one person. I heard it from a lady I dated several years ago, and it was
Shout out to ex Nina.
amongst her friend group. They all talked about this, and it was how they referred to everyone around them. And then one day I just asked, and then she broke it down to me.
It is something
Right.
women would come up with, to be honest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Very-
But I
Women are very
added,
judgmental.
I absolutely added the part to say that there's no bad ones.
Yeah.
Right? Because if you're
Yeah.
talking to strangers, so to speak, or acquaintances, and you're explaining it, you don't want to offend anyone or make anyone feel less than. So I always preface it by saying there's no bad ones. There's no
Alright,
bad ones.
Lay it out.
Get into
Yeah.
it, baby.
So basically, it's basically face shapes, right? I thought you two were going to lay this out, but it's basically face
you're
shapes.
The originator
Okay,
in, our
in this group.
relationship.
So it's basically face shapes. If you have, square jaw, kind of wide face, you're generally a horse.
Long too, right? Like
Long, long,
elongated
yeah.
faces.
Good examples again: Rosario Dawson,
AOC.
Alexandra Ocasio-Cortez. Two very prime examples. Rosario Dawson is probably like a horse, like very, very, very horsey. AOC would be a little birdie. Birdie would be, nose, long noses, kind of swept back eyes a bit. Muffins are round faces.
Just so the listener knows, Jess is a muffin with potentially a little bit of horse.
You're like 97% muffin and like 3% horse.
Okay.
What am I?
Kara is
You're like a horse bird.
a horse bird. Yep. And so is Joe.
Yeah, I'm like a horse bird. What about Pod Mom? Pod Mom's kind of like a.
A bird. He's birdie.
He's a little birdie.
birdie.
Would you say he's muffiny?
a bird muffin?
I'd say you're a little muffiny, but I haven't seen you without a bird without a bird.
Without a beard.
Sorry, without a beard.
I think it's fair to call him a
In a
little
long
bird
time.
muffin. Yeah, definitely bird. Slight muffin.
So who are some famous birds?
That's a really good question. I was just trying to think of
Like Christina
some.
Ricci.
No, she would be like a muffin horse.
Reese
What?
Witherspoon.
Really? I thought she
Reese
was
Witherspoon would
birdie.
be like a
Who
muffin.
the hell is a bird?
Larry David.
Larry David
Larry
B is very
David.
birdie. It's
Yeah.
very birdie. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I guess I was just thinking in terms of women. I couldn't think of, because that's what, my feeble male brain.
And then
Generally.
Muffin is
Oh, here we go. I just cracked into the Blake Lively total
Who the hell
bird.
is Blake Lively?
no, isn't she horsey?
Oh, she's the little
No,
horsey.
this is not
No,
Blake
that's
Lively.
not. No, I just clicked into someone else. This is Justin Timberlake's wife. What's her name? Jessica Biel is definitely horse bird. If you're listening. Love you, girl. But
Sarah Jessica Parker
Very
is
horsey.
a horsey.
Oh yeah,
Very
100%,
horsey, yeah.
100% horse.
I think she's really attractive.
Oh yeah.
Jennifer Aniston's like a horse bird.
I would say she's more muffiny.
What?
No,
Okay.
no way.
No.
I
I feel like now we're so we're not synchronized enough to be like going through this. We're just giving contradictory information.
No.
No.
We could probably have a whole podcast where like people just sent us celebrities and we just said
Just disgust.
we should have on every episode a segment that's Horsebird Muffin, and like
A celebrity to talk
we
about.
just like pick like 3 people,
Yeah.
Yeah.
4 people every episode.
I
and
think
just
that
do
could be.
Horsebird
I think that could
Muffin.
be something. Yeah. Well, we should share that on our Instagram.
Yes.
So you could reference them.
Yeah.
Yeah, horsebird muffins. That could be something we throw up on the Instagram this week for sure. Like good horses, good muffins, good.
Give us
Or
some
like the
feedback. Do
puzzles.
you want to see that?
Give us the puzzlers. Give us the ones you
Or
don't know.
yeah, if people, what do you think?
Yeah. Write in.
If anyone
write-
else is familiar with this stuff.
Yeah, hang on a second. If you're really curious, say it's like your dad. Say you're like dating this girl and you're like,
So you're gonna say you're dating your dad.
I mean, like, listen. We don't know what you do in Norway.
If you're
we don't
two-
know what you're doing over there.
Consenting adults.
Yeah.
True.
Hey, listen here for a second.
We just endorsed incest. You guys realize that, right?
Listen,
It's
I
a
don't.
tale as old as time. It's a tale as
I
old
don't
In
know.
Norway.
I don't know what they're doing in other countries. I don't know. I've never been to that side of the pond. But hear me out for a second. Say you're like into this girl, like you just met her on the apps, and it's like, I'm really a muffin guy or girl, but this person's a little horsey. Can you tell me what you think? Which category they fall in? And they could send us a photo of this person, and then we could tell them which
Just
which
send
they
us
fall
your
into.
pics.
I lost all of that.
It's just send us.
That was-
we'll rate
yeah.
whoever.
Send
and
us
if you
a fo-
don't,
send us
we'll-
Are you
fotch.
following that, Pod Mom? You followed all
Send
that?
us a
You'll
fotch of your person, and we'll
a
tell you.
fotch.
And we'll tell you who they are.
Okay.
And
yeah.
if you don't, we'll just pick random people.
Yeah.
I
That's
think
gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like random celebrities, because we're not gonna divulge personal identities.
Well, we could if you share them.
Yeah. But like
If
I'm
you
not.
consent.
Yeah.
If you want us to judge you,
Oh yeah, send in a picture of yourself.
That's what I'm saying.
Not like someone else, not your like potential significant
But, like,
other,
either
your own.
way.
Send us
Yeah.
a selfie.
We could do it anonymously.
this is like
anonymously.
the Miss America pageant, but
but Horsebird Muffin.
we're way more
Oh
qualified
my God,
than any of the
what a
judges on there
game
ever.
Show. What a game show. Horsebird Muffin.
Good grief.
It's
Right.
like the new Squid Games.
Wait,
I think it's about time for a drink break.
is it time?
I think.
Well,
It's time.
all right. Well, then let's see. Let's
I
take a
might
little break.
have to head out. So I'm gonna,
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna say my goodbyes.
It's that time.
It's
All
that
right.
time of the
Well,
night.
Jess, thanks for
Thank you
coming
very
on.
much,
I hope
Jess.
we can make this a regular thing. You
Absolutely.
were part of the original brain trust,
Yes.
right?
was
That thought of this whole thing.
Yeah.
We love you, Jess.
I love you guys too. I miss my friends.
Well, you know where we're at, or where I am
I know
at
where
least.
you are.
Yeah.
I can
You
break
could-
down your door again.
You could call me.
It's true. All right.
All right.
Jess
Well,
out.
drink break.